Alright, spoiler warning, like always. This video will have spoilers, so you have been warned. Alright, first things first, Black Lagoon has a really good theme song for the intro, which is always important for a show. Alright, so pretty much it's these three people, Revy, Dutch, and Benny. They run a shipping company and they end up recruiting this guy, and he gets the nickname Rock. So now there's four of them. And, Rock ends up building a good relationship with the rest of the crew. They accept him and help him out. They don't really get too mad at him for not knowing how to do anything, since they know he's used to just being a businessman, with a few exceptions from Revy. She does get mad at him a lot, but, it's just, that's her thing. But Revy's awesome. I really like her. She actually never gets annoying, which is surprising. She's not just edgy to be edgy, she genuinely is just a troubled person. I like how we get to hear about her ideology and how people like her have nothing to care about except money. She says money is power, she has nothing else to look up to but money. And even if you don't agree with her, it's nice to hear a different perspective. And Revy's and Rock's perspective of life is what caused them to argue a lot. But by argue, I really just mean Revy screaming her head off at Rock every time. But Revy is always a bitch to Rock, but we all know that she actually does care about him. It actually gets to the point where you just really want to see the two of them get along. But she is a very, very aggressive person. Like, there's no filter on her. And I do like how the show doesn't really put any censors on her. She just says whatever she wants. She keeps everything to herself and bundles up all her feelings, so when she does open up the few times in the show, in season 1 at least, you're always open ears to what she's saying. She's a loose cannon though, like very loose, so Dutch has to keep her in check a lot of the times. But all the times that Dutch keeps her in check, it's very crucial to the show. It's very important scenes, because it shows how Revy has extreme anger issues and Dutch is a more sensible person. Dutch is just the cool guy on the ship, and he's just as awesome. His personality is just get the job done. He doesn't let emotions get in the way most of the time. It's just business with him. One thing about this show, it's so fun to watch Revy and Dutch just create absolute bloodbaths and run through a bunch of people. That is always so fun to watch, and it never gets old. Or even just Revy herself creating bloodbaths. She's just a very bloodthirsty person. She always wants to kill someone because she's just angry like that, and she just takes out her anger by shooting people, pretty much. Rock becomes a cool character. At first he's too scared to do anything, but then he starts to man up and you start to like him really more, and he starts standing up for himself towards Revy. And at first he's not too much of a use to the team, but then it turns out down the line he has good business and negotiation skills, so that helps the Lagoon company make good deals with other companies instead of Revy just pointing her gun at people, and because that usually never works. Alright, so now I'm gonna get into some complaints about the show. I think they missed a lot of good opportunities. I think they should have had more scenes like this.
Just one thing. Let me ask you this, and there won't be any more trouble. So, I just want to know which side you want to be on.
Me? I'm right here where I'm sitting, Revy. I'm not anywhere else.
Rock, give me a light.
Light? The cops got the lighter.
What are you talking about? You got one in your mouth. What a fucked up day that was.
No shit.
It was just a little disappointing to see these outside characters start getting more character development and attention than the main characters themselves. There's 3 whole episodes that are mainly about the relationship between a kid and his maid, and both their backstories, and although they weren't bad episodes, I just wasn't interested in these characters, and I really just wanted to see more of Revy and Rock, or even more about Dutch and Benny. I mean, they definitely deserve more screen time, in season 1 at least. I like both these characters a lot, but we don't know too much about them, and I think that the show should show us more about them. I think we should get a little bit on their backstory. Like, why is Benny there to begin with? You know, he seems a little out of place, so I would like to see how he got there. I had my hopes high for the last episode of season 1, and after what Rock and Revy just went through in that episode, I was hoping that they would have like a good wholesome moment at the end, and it got really close to that. Revy said that her and Rock were buddies, which is a huge step up for her, but then she just yells at him right afterwards, and it's just like, we've seen this so many times, and you know, that moment fades away very quickly. So I don't know, maybe some people like it like this and they just want Revy to stay 100% the way she is, but me personally, I would like to see her change a little. I really like her and Rock, and we see so much of them, but I would like to see more character building in that. I mean, like, I know that they're, you know, the point is that they're shipping stuff, and you see that a lot, but I would like there to be more moments. There was this one time where Revy was saying that she doesn't have a problem with Rock. She just doesn't exactly cooperate with him because he's from a different background. He grew up differently. He's not like her, and Revy saying that he's not like anyone on the ship, so that's why she has problems with him. So I would like to see, you know, them talk a little bit more, and just not Revy just yelling at him all the time. But yeah, I think there was a lot of missed opportunities in season 1. I think oh my god, I cannot emphasize enough that Dutch and Benny should be focused on more. I think it's fine that there's a lot of Revy and Rock, that's fine, but we need more Dutch and Benny. And I haven't watched season 2 yet, so I might make a separate video on that. But I think the show does go downhill a little bit. Kind of like maybe a little after the halfway mark, I kind of just stopped paying as much attention, and I just wasn't as involved because I just wanted to see more of the relationships being built. And it was more just like, you know, something goes wrong, you gotta fix what happened, and then every time they fix it, there's really no like good moment at the end. There's nothing that like puts the episode together. It's really just like you watch an action scene and that's it. It's just an action scene. But I don't know if that makes any sense. Maybe if you watch the show, you'll get it. Maybe you won't. Maybe you like the way the show is. And I still like the show. I think it's a very good show. I was very much into it. I mean, there was times where I was writing notes down for the show as I was watching, but then I had to put my phone down as I'm writing the notes, because I was so into what was happening. I was just so immersed into the experience. Like this one scene with Revy and Rock when they were screaming at each other. Rock was defending himself. He was telling Revy off. And that scene was just so good. I was getting goosebumps watching that. I'm like, yes, like you're cheering on Rock. And then you're also hoping that Revy kind of understands what Rock is saying, because she's a very arrogant person. He even says this right to her face. And I just want to see Revy change a little bit. I just want to see her change just a little bit. It doesn't need to be a whole thing. She doesn't need to become the nicest person like Rock is, but I would just like her to you know, be a little different, just a little bit. I'm not asking for too much. Overall though, I think season 1's solid. I'll probably make a separate video for season 2 when I do finish it, because I don't want to just run through season 2 right now. I might watch some other shows first, but I'm going to give season 1 a 7 out of 10. I think it's a good season. I do recommend it, and I'll be back with season 2 soon.
Say
Baby, honey, you have got me thinking about why.